There's
tour.
just one piece I want to dig in, which I love.
Yeah.
You said know their stories.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that. I love that.
Yeah.
That really resonates with me. That is probably the main purpose around why we do what we do in this engagement space.
Yeah.
Welcome to Fika's Focus. Voices leading change.
All right, we're back here with Chrissie. We were laughing because actually, as it turns out, Sammy lost the footage of Chrissie that we had. It was probably the best podcast we've ever done in our life. But, thank you, Sammy. We are here with Chrissie from Pap Beach, and we get to dig back into some things. And I think, first off, I do want to go through the study thing again, and actually just out there talking to Nikki. It fascinates me what's being asked of students today and how they're dealing with it, and whether it actually is reflective of what they're seeing in the rooms.
Yes.
I think that's what's being made quite prevalent to me in the last couple of weeks, talking to some of your colleagues like Julie, and then just around other centres. So I think that's interesting. But let's just start again.
Take two.
Take two. Chrissie, where are you from?
I am from Whangamata. Well, I was born in Auckland.
Yes.
Actually.
We won't hold it against you, but yes.
Yeah, West Auckland. And moved to Whangamata when I was 3. Lived there for 15 years.
Whangamata, sleepy beach town.
Yeah.
What sort of values though did it teach you growing up in a space like that? In a close quite a close knit
very
community.
Close because you knew everyone in the town. Definitely a lot of like community, and just building strong relationships with people. You'd walk into shops and people would know you by your name, and it was definitely like there was a strong sense of that like community.
And it's still quite prevalent there, It's still very tight there in Whangamata.
Yeah, definitely.
If you go there outside of summer, you realise that you really are not one of the locals.
Yeah.
You walk into an area there and people know that you're not from there.
Yeah.
So the area school there, you went to the area school? Oh, no, you went to...
I went to Ōpōtere school
Oh, yes,
first.
Ōpōtere school, yeah.
Which is just like a little rural, out of town, like 15
right.
minutes out of town school, which I really loved. It was very like in the country. We'd do heaps of like stuff out in the native and just go on like big adventures like over the paddocks and through the farmland, and it was real cool. And then the area school's like the only high school.
Yes.
Goes primary to high school, so went there for high school.
Yep.
Which was it was all right.
Can I ask, so I'm just thinking back now, so you do your last couple of years through the pandemic.
Yes.
Do you reckon that really helped you going into your study now, because you kind of really get the gist of studying online?
Yeah, I guess it kind of set me up for the online sort of side of things, because my whole last 3 years of high school, or like year 11 and 12, was in the midst of COVID. So Zoom classes and all of that, and just doing stuff in your own time and being independent
and managing your time.
Yeah,
because you're exceptionally older in your head than what you really are. Like it's always crack up to us because we think how old you really are versus how experienced or in terms of the head on your shoulders. Where does that come from?
I don't know. I think I've always been told I'm very mature for my age. I think growing up, I just kind of grew up quite quickly, and I was very when I was younger, I used to love playing families and wanting to drive a car. I'd literally sit on Dad's lap going down the driveway at 7.
Right,
I was just ready to grow up, and I just was really excited to become an adult and do those things.
So what would... Can you think of who some of your favourite teachers were, or who you... Yeah,
I've definitely got some favourites from school, at Ōpōtere. There was, I'm trying to remember her name, Miss Herring. She was my art... Well, she was a year teacher, she taught everything, but she was real artsy.
Yes.
Loved doing painting and heaps of creative stuff with us, which I loved.
And what would she say? What would Miss Herring say about you?
About what?
What was her report say? What did she say? Mine was likes to be class clown or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, most of my reports were pretty good. There was the odd comment of me being a bit of a chatterbox because I love to chat.
Yeah. Love a yarn.
But definitely good with organisation and time management, and mature.
It's quite relevant to today, because now you're and you've got such a great room. you know, and now actually since the podcast was lost from Sammy, we've now regained back, you know, Jenna,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
you know, and you've got, and just seeing Julie's value.
Yeah. I love Julie.
Yeah, we all love Julie, don't we? But, you know, just seeing that sort of team, that tight-knit team, what does it do for your skill set in that space, that organisation, that instinct of organisation, but still that element of creativity?
Yeah.
What is that space doing for your own teaching practice?
Yeah, it's definitely given me a lot of like freedom and space to use those skills, because I'm such an organized person at home as well. Like everything's kind of like got a place and has to stay in its place. And yeah, I definitely value my team for being super supportive and just allowing me to like take over. Like I've just rearranged the cupboards, and I just kind of like randomly will be like, oh no, this cupboard needs organizing, and just kind of sort the whole thing without really going to anyone. But they're all like, you do your thing, you know, like it's your strength. And that's, I guess, everyone like has their own strength that plays a part in the whole teamwork.
Is it leadership?
Possibly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you think it
I'd say it's definitely
certainly comes under a
the
subset of leadership,
skill.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I do like to I mean, I don't know, I'm not like a super like outgoing person. Like I am quite introverted, so I wouldn't like say like, oh yeah, I'm such a like leader and I like to be a leader, because I never really like jumped at the opportunity to do leadership stuff when I was younger. But I do enjoy like I don't know, being able to like have everyone on the same page and kind of like, I guess I like everyone to be like understanding everyone. And I'm
knowing that leadership is a behaviour, it's not a title, it's a behaviour. You know, you think about, I need Chrissie's in my life to organise things, you know, that's not my, I'm organised. Am I? Yeah, I am. I'm organised, but do you know what I mean? Like what you choose to do. And it's not, and let's be honest, it's not just that. You know, I see the relationships you have with children. I see the depth of understanding you have, your willingness to speak up. This is one thing I really admire about you. You are willing to speak up and say to people that they're doing a great job. I think that's really something that this whole sector needs to work on, is actually patting one another on the back. Yeah. And I see that. I see you put it out in the forum on the message on our messengers, and it's just, that sort of stuff is a behaviour. But what you do in the room, what does it allow others to do?
In terms of?
Well, no, you like organise, you do this, and, you know, things are organised around you. You know, you've got, you know, like your visits or settling visits or, you know, transitions, things like that. That level of organisation you carry, what does that let Julie do, or Jenna, or because you have that under control? What does it let them do?
I think it definitely just creates like a real calm environment, and it just like I don't know, like when it's real, you know, if everything's like unorganized and messy or stressful, it just creates that like unsettled, you know, like kind of vibe in the room. So I think making sure that everything's kind of like smooth and like has, you know, like someone's on top of this or someone's organized this, then it just creates like space for the other teachers to, really kind of dive into what they want to do and like not be pushed back by like, oh, it's so stressed and like,
Because it's calm in that room.
Yeah.
You guys are busy.
Yeah.
But you can, you know, the reflection's always of like, and I like, it cracks me up. I walked in, when was it, Friday? And Summer was just sitting there. I walked and she just laughed at me. Like, just like, and you could just sense there's just kids. This is where we're really underestimated when you walk into a room as strong as your guys' Kiri kahurangi room. It's just so calm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When I see someone just, when I walk and look up and laugh at
Just
me,
happy.
like, you know, and what it's allowed is for those children that are struggling to regulate and settle, you know, you can actually offer and give time.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it takes like, it kind of like allows the teachers to have more time to be that one-on-one with the kids, because they're not like worried about organising a messy table or something, you know, because it's already kind of taken, sorted itself out.
So you study. First year's done?
Yep.
So second year's starting
Starting soon. I was hoping to start, this week, but the application's taking a bit longer.
And so what does it look like this year? What are you looking forward to in your studies?
So, it's second year in. It's it's exciting. I'm excited. I learned a lot in my first year, so I'm excited to like gain more knowledge. I'm also looking at doing a bit more work in the wairete room, in the toddler space, just to kind of grow, because obviously I've been working in kiri kahurangi for 2 years now, and I did my first year of study with that age group, so it'll be kind of cool to challenge myself a bit, I think, and like, experience a different.
What are you looking for in that space in terms of challenge? What do you think it is?
I'd say confidence in my teaching, because I have like more experience with children under 2, like even prior to coming into ECE, most of my nannying jobs were like younger children, and I had a lot of like younger family, cousins and stuff. And so, I guess it would just be like growing my confidence in teaching older kids.
And the challenge that it presents in terms of, because it's crazy how different toddlers are, right? It's like it's probably my most intriguing age group.
Yeah.
What do you think right now you are going to offer to that room?
I think,
or more so, sorry, the children of the room.
Is
what I'm meaning.
Not the team.
Yeah.
I think I'm really excited to like be back with, some of the kids that have recently transitioned from the kiri kahurangi room, because I think, and I've talked to a few of the parents, and they're really excited to have like familiar faces in that room. I think it really helps with that transition period, because they've just gone from like, from one room to like a whole new environment plus a whole new team of like teachers. So I think it will be really beneficial for those kids to see like a familiar face, and it might help with the settling.
Actually, that's a great point, really. It's that continuation for the children is actually quite a powerful, because who's gone there? So
we've lost Amy and Alicia.
Yes. So who's going in though in terms of children though? Like Miles obviously been through there. We've got who else has gone in recently though? Obviously Gussie will be going over shortly. Oh, Lola, yes.
Lola's just gone. Yeah, we have Nixon, Gus, and Anna, who are our next 3.
Yes, yeah.
And they all kind of like, they love being over there, but they all do need that kind of emotional support in terms of like, the settling. So,
yeah, that is a cool challenge. And what about academically? What do you think? The alignment of what you're learning to what you're learning. So what you're learning at university or through your tertiary spaces versus what you're learning on the job. Is there alignment? What does align? What doesn't? What is an alignment first, you think, in terms of what you're studying versus what you're experiencing?
I think like the development of the children, like learning about their development, and like their learning and your learning. I feel like that definitely aligns a lot. I don't know. I'd say, because my first year of study, a lot of the stuff I was learning was stuff that I was quite familiar with. Like I'd learned already on the floor, because I'd been working here for a year before I started the studies.
Yes.
But I find it all kind of does work.
And it's funny, as a young person, I remember myself learning about, I don't know if you've learned about Vygotsky or, those sorts of things. I remember being your age, really, and being at uni and going, what is this? Like, and then now, no, not now, when I got into teaching, this is the benefit of ECE is I only got really 1 hour a week to go in and practice what we were doing theoretically, because we would go and do an hour's worth of stuff at a primary school, whereas you're actually on the floor the whole time, which is pretty amazing.
It's like full-time study and full-time work.
But you get to actually see what you're in action
and put it in practice. I really enjoy that side of things. Like studying through NZTC has been really good in terms of that, and I really like the flexibility that it gives you with being able to be on the floor and put into practice what you're learning.
So what about what's not really aligned? What have you learnt from the job or learnt from the study that you're like, never come across that, or no, that's maybe not so relevant? Or is there anything you can think of at the moment through what you've in your first year?
I don't know.
Do you think they provide enough support around the external noise around our role in terms of coping with anxieties, parental expectations, You know, you're young.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you are young. It's
Yeah.
like me. I started teaching when I was 21.
Yeah.
I had mates who were teaching high school.
Yeah.
You know, that
Yeah.
in my opinion, like that's young.
Yeah.
You know, you're dealing with parents in that space, like myself and all. You know,
Yeah.
does the study set you up for success in that space? Do you think?
I feel like not as much as you'd think. Like I think they focus a lot on like the children, obviously, which is like the main priority, you know. But in terms of like navigating conversations with parents and like supporting parents in terms of like, you know, like providing them support or guidance for like certain things, you know, that stuff isn't really I didn't really learn much of that.
Because you're very good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very good at it. So where does that come from?
I don't know. I've always just loved talking to people. I love getting to know people, and I find that a real like that's part of my philosophy is like my teaching philosophy, like building strong relationships with the families.
Yes.
Because I like to know about people, you know, and I do find it. I mean, that's just like already been a thing, you know, like. Prior to working in ECE, I've always just had a love for people and knowing them and knowing their stories. So bringing that into ECE, it's like, kind of talking to the parents and getting a feel for like who they are at home and like what's going on to like better know the child.
Yes.
That's something that I really had a passion for.
There's just one piece I want to dig in, which I love.
Yeah.
You said know their stories.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that. I love that.
Yeah.
Like that really resonates with me. That is probably the main purpose around why we do what we do in this engagement space.
Yeah.
But what does it mean to you? Know their stories.
Yeah. Just knowing like everything. Like I love hearing about, you know, their home life, what sort of things they get up to, what things interest them. And even like, you know, like not all children have great home lives, you know, like some come from unsettled or, you know, like
stuff going on.
Yeah, there's stuff going on. And I guess it's just like knowing about like things around that to support them because, you know, they could come in and have had a really rough morning and then that knowledge of like what their home life is like kind of better supports you.
Do you know what? You're going to go a long way, mate.
Thank you.
I think like that level of, and I think this is me lumping it into curiosity. I don't believe you can be, this is my personal view, I don't believe you can be empathetic without being curious. It is very hard to carry empathy for people's situations if you just don't care, you know?
Yeah.
And hearing that, because I see it in practice, so now that you're talking through it. Yeah, that knowing their story, being curious about what's going on in people's lives, it is a very powerful skill set.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you to whoever helped you hone that because at your age, because you're 20.
Yeah, 20.
At your age, your ability with that is pretty phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah.
So future plans? I know travel's a big one for you, which is exciting.
Yeah.
You know, obviously now that the world's opened back up and everyone's gone past a bit of madness.
Yes.
So travel?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Yeah. I've got 2 more years of this to get my bachelors. I actually had like a thought a few weeks ago about possibly going into doing like the extra year to do primary, but I don't know yet. That's kind of just like sitting there as like, you know, an opportunity for more opportunities. But yeah, definitely want to travel after I've studied, you know, get a bit of experience and kind of see the world while doing what I love, like work and travel. Yeah, teach overseas and kind of gain some more knowledge and
it will hone you as a teacher.
Yeah.
You know, like I was really fortunate to go overseas at a time where I was starting to challenge whether I was actually a decent teacher. And I think for yourself, for someone who already talks about the knowing people's stories and the curiosity, it will really add to your story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you thought about countries?
I do really want to do Europe. Yeah, that's kind of just been a dream. I feel like that's kind of every like young girl's dream, like Paris and
yeah.
But and then I've got a few friends that live over in Germany.
Yes.
It's kind of random, but yeah, I think it would be quite fun to do like au pairing or something over there. And yeah.
Just going back to that potential primary school space, what's intriguing about the primary school study?
I think I mean, I would have to, like, it's not something that I'm, like, jumping at. Like, I'm not super, because I'm not, like, as confident with that age group, you know?
Yes.
Like, I feel like that I'll probably have more of an understanding of where I'm at with that after I've worked a bit more in, like, the preschool, toddler side of things. But, yeah, just I think it would be really cool and, like, fun to,
it's a
try something
it is
new.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the goal is about trying to just get better, right?
Yeah,
And
totally.
I think that's what we can do to really ensure we're supporting kids is that we keep getting better. And that study will give you another view into. It's so funny. I was so arrogant coming out of primary, thinking, we've got it tough and sorted and and then I know what education's about, and man, I got a shock. I remember Britt and I having a few run-ins about a few things about where I was almost maybe not arrogant, but I was stubborn around kind of what I saw as necessary development and what I would deem high class or high quality education experiences. But it's certainly an eye opener. But I can only now comment on it because I've been exposed to it.
Yes,
I can't sit in my turret in primary and just take fire at ECE, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
We've actually got out and experienced it. So going back the other way, it could be quite powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like there's always, like, as teachers, we're always learning.
Yes.
So, and I love it. So, yeah, I just feel like it would be cool. New space to kind of learn something new.
Well, we've still got you for 2 more years.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
I think a lot can happen in 2 years. The whole world shut down and just like that. So a lot can happen. But Chrissie, we really appreciate who you are for a starter. I think we really appreciate your skill set. I'm going to stop harping on about how young you are with how good you are, but it is quite prevalent. And, we're really fortunate that Kiri Kahuranga team is just unbelievable. You've got such a great group of people in there. Even watching Julie cook those dumplings, man.
Oh, man. She's a blessing. She is a blessing.
I'll admit, I would probably have burnt them if I had been there. So seeing them cook to perfection, and But I really appreciate all that you guys do in that space for our families. I'm sure all our families appreciate you. So thank you very much, Chrissie.
Thanks so much. Loved it.
Don't lose this one, Tammy.